Okay, everyone. Last but not least, we have similar solids and we have composite solids. Now, similar solids shouldn't be that bad because we should know what a similar figure is. So a similar figure is a figure that is the same shape but a different size. Okay, it's the same thing when we're dealing with three-dimensional. We have the same three-dimensional figure. We're either just going to take it and make it bigger or we're going to make it smaller. So the definition when we're dealing with solids versus just figures is two solids with equal ratios of corresponding side lengths. And of course, the corresponding side lengths is called your scale factor. Okay? Now, a composite solid is a three-dimensional figure made up of two or more figures. So this is when we start taking a cylinder and putting a cone on top of it, or we take a prism and we put something else on top of it, or we take two things and we stick them together, and you'll see that once we do our examples here. So starting out, we're going to start with our similar solids, and it says cylinder A and cylinder B are similar. Find the volume of cylinder B. Now, in order to do this, we might need to take a step back here and try to remember something, but let's see how we do on this first one. So cylinder A, it looks like it has a radius of 3 centimeters, and cylinder B has a radius of 6 centimeters. We know the volume of cylinder A is 45 pi centimeters cubed, and we need to find the volume of cylinder B. Now, if I'm going from A to B, remember, in order to find your scale factor, you always take the second one divided by the first one, okay? You always take your prime divided by your original or something, whatever. So we're going to take 6 divided by 3, which gets us 2 centimeters, okay? That's your scale factor. So if I were to take 3 and go to 6, I would times by 2. Now, that's true if I'm working with centimeters. But if you take a look at this, I'm not working with centimeters. I'm working with centimeters cubed. So you can't just take 45 pi and multiply it by 2. It doesn't work that way. Okay, we kind of discussed this when we did area of similar figures. You couldn't just multiply by the scale factor. So what we need now is we need the volume ratio, which means we're going to take our scale factor, which is 2, but because we're dealing with volume, you're going to cube it. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8 centimeters cubed, which means when I go from volume to volume, I'm not really going to increase by 2, I'm going to increase by 8. So if you want to find the volume, you're going to take 45 pi, you're going to multiply by 8. So I'm going to grab my calculator. 45 pi times 8. In this case, just hit enter, don't hit control enter, because we're going to leave it in the same format they gave it to us. So we are going to get 360 pi centimeters cubed is the volume of cylinder B. Okay, so you get your scale factor, you cube it, which gets you your volume ratio, and then you can use that. Okay, find the volume of the concrete block. This is considered a composite solid because you have to do multiple things, but a preview, that's really a composite solid where you're going to take something and stick something else on the top of it. But anyways, find the volume of the concrete block. So first of all, I'm going to start with the entire concrete block. which is a rectangular prism. Okay, a rectangular prism, area of the base times the height. So area of the base, I'm looking at 1.31 times 0.66. Length times width times the height, 0.66, which is right there. So volume is 1.31 times 0.66 times 0.66 is 0.570636. Now, in your concrete block, you're missing these guys. Okay, and they kind of go down into the bottom. I'm not a very good artist, don't judge. Okay, but they kind of maybe do, I don't know, something like that. They're in there. I think I did the wrong thing here. Should have gone like that. Okay, you get the point. So anyways, we've got two of those, and it looks to me like they're the same size. So these guys, the area of their base is going to be 0.39 times 0.33. So 0.39 times 0.33. And then what's their height? Okay, assuming, based on the picture, that they go the whole way through the block, the height would be the same as the other one, so 0.66. So volume of one of those guys, 0.39 times 0.33 times 0.66 is 0.084942. But that's only for one of them. There's two of them. So we're going to multiply by 2. 0.169884. So that's for both of the holes, and this is for the whole block. So if I want to find the block with the holes, we're going to subtract. Okay, so take your original answer, 0.570636, subtract the two holes, 0.169844884, and I'm getting, it doesn't tell us what to round to, so I'll just keep it all, 0.400752 cubic feet. Last one, find the volume of the composite solid. So, composite solid, we took two figures, we stuck them together, we want the volume of the whole thing. Game plan, find the volume of the bottom, find the volume of the top, add them together. So, down here, this is a rectangular prism. Now, I know I keep saying area of the base times the height, but does anybody remember that a rectangular prism or a box is length times width times height? So, volume down here, length times width times height, 64 inches cubed. This guy, kind of a cylinder, but half of a cylinder. So I say we find the volume of a cylinder, which is the area of the base times the height, and then we cut it in half. So the base on this guy is right here. Okay, I'm going to draw the whole thing for now, which is a circle. So area of the base of a circle is pi times the radius squared. Radius is from the center to the edge, which if this whole thing is 4, that's 2. So volume equals pi times the radius squared times the height, which is from the first circle back to the second circle, which is 4. If we figure that out, pi times 2 squared times 4 is about 50.27, I'll leave some decimals, 50.2655, but that's for an entire cylinder. But we only have like half the cylinder up here. So then I'm going to take that, cut it in half, which gets me 25.1327. And then last but not least, add. So then I'm going to add 64, which is my part on the bottom, which gets me 89.13 inches cubed.